Hey guys, in today's video I'm doing kind of a follow-up on one I did recently where it was me versus AI of what each of us thought was the 10 best crypto to hold for long-term investing. In this video I want to talk about the characteristics that I look at personally to help decide if a crypto I think is good for long-term buying and holding or not. Now, when I go through these, there's other aspects that makes a crypto good for a long-term hold, but these are ones that I kind of put near the top. We'll go through about 10 of them today, and they're in no particular order. If there's ones I think is a little bit better for me and my perspective, I'll certainly go ahead and state it. But I want to do this as just a method of explaining where did I come to the answers from that video. And I'll have that one in the description below, and I'll have it at the end screen end of this video. So if you're curious and didn't see it, you can go ahead and look to see what my top 10 picks were. So as always, if you've been here several times and or you get anything useful from this video, please do press the like and subscribe button. It really does help me out. But regardless, let's talk about what I look for personally for the best characteristics for long-term crypto, and definitely put your thoughts down below. Any others that I did not state, or if you agree or disagree on them, I'll be very curious your opinion. But let's hop right into this. So the first thing I really look for is real utility, right? Long-term crypto investments, to me, they need to do something necessary, right? Like think Ethereum, for example, right? It's a powering DeFi, they have NFTs, they do the smart contracts across hundreds of different products. Compare that to most meme coins, for example, or even just a lot of other layer ones. I mean, God, we got so many layer ones out there, right? If a token doesn't have a real job and then why is anyone going to hold it? Right? No one's just going to hold a random crypto, except for maybe memes, and expect a miracle, specifically years down the road. Crypto don't have a real use, or it's not even being used. Like there's a lot of crypto out there. I don't want to get everyone's panties in a bunch, so I won't name too many specific ones here, but they have the possibility and the potential of doing a lot. And we want to look at it as long-term crypto, but they're not doing anything yet. And if I'm going to put a lot of money into it now for later, I personally want to see something a little bit more than potential. I want to know that they're going to be around for the long term, first off. It's why I think Ethereum is such a good long-term play, is it's going to be around. Even if we complain about the gas fees and all of that. I mean, there's a whole narrative made around it, layer 2s, to make it cheaper, and so many corporations use it. So real world utility, specifically something that's necessary for a blockchain, we'll come back to that in a little bit, something I personally really look for a long-term crypto. Short-term, completely different story. Agree or disagree? This next one I call it sticky token demand. What I mean by this is a crypto can have utility, but if no one actually needs the token, holders don't benefit, there's no reason for us to keep our sticky hands or diamond hands onto it. And this is why sticky token demand is crucial. Think of Chainlink here. I think that's a pretty good example, right? Link is required to pay Oracle nodes for the data. The more DeFi grows, the more demand for Link. On the other hand, tokens that just exist for speculation often see price swings with no underlying reason. Like indirectly, I see Quant the same way. It doesn't directly have a use, but as the overledger's use, it is locked away for at least a year, right? So there's reasons why people are going to use it and hold it. It has a purpose. Even when it comes to like gas fees, I know I mentioned this with Ethereum, it does a lot more than that. But if we look at a token that's just gas fees, if we wanted to, we could remove that from blockchain technology and just call it a tax or just call it a little bit of a fee, right? It does. I think long-term plays need to have something, or it very much benefits if it has a sticky token demand, a real reason to hold the token, as opposed to the crypto has a use. Well, is the token used for that use? That's something I personally look for. Now, this is a personal one that I really like, and again, doesn't need to have these, but if a token has a burn or a buyback system, you're probably already getting my interest to learn a little bit more about it, right? It's a big tokenomic sustainability aspect, where whether it is a buyback, 20% of the fees that come in to buy the tokens back to put it back into circulation, it helps keep the price moving. Same thing with burn mechanisms. Or we have some crypto like Render that has a mint and burn method to it. I think it's great. Aero has been doing lots of buybacks from the fees that come in, where Aero will go ahead and they'll rebuy the Aero tokens back. So this way they're not just sitting there in exchanges. I love this type of aspect for it. Binance was probably the first one to really do this. They have a cap supply, quarterly burns, and it helps decrease inflation over the time. Inflation scares the shit out of people. So anything with tokenomics that helps that system have a little flywheel effect, burner buybacks are going to get my attention. Again, not required, but that's a bigger one for me. How about if it's already survived a little bit, right? Bear market survivability. Granted, not all tokens can have this right away because time has to pass. But if you've had a crypto that's already survived 1, 2, or hell, 3 different bear markets, it's shown that people will hold on to it, or industry is going to use it. Regardless, it's already proven a life expectancy. And crypto is still quite freaking new. So there's not too many that have survived 2 cycles. So if they already have, and then they have a use or some sticky tokenomics behind it, you're probably catching my attention, or at least having me admit, yes, I could see that as being a pretty good long-term investment concept. Because what the hell's the point of saying you're going to have something long-term if it's only going to last 1 or 2 years? History does a good job of telling us this one. Next, we'll call it marketing position or a moat, meaning is there a defensible market position and regulatory survivability? Can it be replaced? Right? And again, Quant, if you guys, whether you saw my 10 long-term crypto videos or just seen 1 or 2 of my videos, Quant's on that list for me. I think Quant's a perfect example of this. Because of the interoperability, one, it's a mild niche narrative. There's only a handful of crypto out there that can do interoperability. And then there's only really, I can think of like 2 that can really do it well. And that is not something that can be copied so easily to work with all crypto, all levels of blockchain, all legacy and fintech from banks. So it can't just be walked and replaced with some cheaper software. That is a more rare thing to find in crypto, where you have something that's protective like that, but it's how much competition in there and is it easily replaced? It's like layer 1s and layer 2s. There are so many freaking layer 1s and layer 2s. We don't need that many. So they're already always a little risky until we get developers on it. And that's a big deal of, again, can it be replaced? And how easily can it be replaced? Now, the 6th one, I expect some people to argue with me on this one more than others. Very open to hear what you have to say. But for me, it's institutional and enterprise alignment. Right? Retail comes and goes. We are emotional little creatures that get scared by our own shadow. But if you have institutional or enterprise that's coming in and using or holding it for whatever given reason, we're probably talking something that might be worth it long term. Hbar, I think, is a good example of this, right? It has projects with corporate partners. These tend to survive. Hbar has the whole governing council. It's going to have nearly 40 different large Fortune 500-esque companies that are here to help make sure it survives and point directions of where it goes. They're not going to let Hbar go down. Right? So if you can get enterprise, an institution involved into it, you probably have a crypto that's going to survive. Again, what the hell is the point of saying a crypto is great for long-term investing if it's not going to survive long-term? If you've been through one crypto cycle before, you've probably seen a lot of crypto that just fell into oblivion, right? Non-financial advice ever, things to think about. But if you follow crypto that is supported by institutions, governments, it's probably going to be around for a little bit. Might be worth looking into. Developer loyalty. There's some good crypto out there. Again, back to layer 1s. Great projects. Again, I said I wasn't going to shit talk crypto on this one. One that I like, Supra. I'm not going to put that as a long-term investment right now. I think it's a great layer 1. I think it's got great technology behind it, but the developers aren't there yet, right? Whereas you have Ethereum, they get new developers all the time. It doesn't actually matter that it costs a shit ton to run onto it. People trust it. They're going to be loyal to it. We have more companies that come onto Ethereum or the layer 2s, which still feeds into the same system. It lets us know it's going to be there for a long while. We can even call it a little bit for certain layer 2s. I'll say Base in this example. Base doesn't have a coin yet, but That would also be another possible opportunity in my eye because it's going to have institutional loyalty. Now, we don't know exactly what that coin's going to do yet. If it's governance, okay, I'm going to throw that one out the window. But these are types of things to look for. Is there a reason for developers to hop on? Are they hopping on? And do they have a reason to stay? Solana, I could have used for a lot of these same examples. I've chosen Ethereum when I'm talking about for many of these, but a reason to hold. If holders have incentives, staking, governance, for those of you who actually like that, or if there's access to discounts, they're much more likely to retain the token long term. Solana, I think, does this incredibly well. Right? They got the staking rewards, they've got fee benefits, they encourage holders to stay. They've gotten this whole niche of being known as the memes, and a lot of people will buy memes with Solana tokens, and then they sell their memes from our Solana tokens, and it creates again that flywheel effect, and it gives people reason to hold onto it. And again, Solana has hit a lot of these other categories I've already talked about. So if you can find a reason to get someone to hold on to it, why should I hold on to this thing other than the hopes of a 50x? We're probably, again, looking at something that might be a good option for the long term. And last, I'll say narratives that compound, or we'll call it multi-narrative crypto. Right? Best one I know for this one, again, I'm going back to Hbar on this one. Right? If you can find a crypto that has multiple narratives or that can have additional narratives as time goes on, you probably have a long-term winner. I've said several times, and I will fight and die on this hill, that Hbar is the most versatile crypto out there. Yes, there's crypto that can do a lot of different things, but Hbar does so many different things, right? It goes from karate combat, so it's in the sports. It does real estate. It does tokenization, it does payment processing. It does DeFi. It can do cloud storage. It's been literally sent into space with SpaceX and Elon Musk up in the satellites. If you have a crypto that does multiple jobs, and they have to do them well, right? You can't have a crypto that can kind of do this and it just keeps dropping constantly or does a shitty job. No, but if you can get a crypto that has multiple aspects to it, multiple narratives, so there's different ways it can be used, we're also probably looking at something pretty good. And Polygon does this also. I'm not sure I really classify that as a good long-term investment for me, but it definitely holds the compound narratives, right? It's a Ethereum layer 2. It gets a lot of institution. It does It does NFTs. It has a DeFi hub. It goes into gaming and the metaverse. So again, the more you can expand onto it, the better. And this is just the exact opposite, I know, of when I said about a moat. Is it something specific? If it does one thing really well that cannot be replaced, or does multiple things well, even if they're all replaceable, people are more likely to build on that one to do different things onto it. So there you guys go. There was just a quick little list of things that I would look for long-term crypto. I'm curious, how many of those do you disagree with? Is there any that you strongly agree with? And again, what's one that I missed? Because odds are I'm not going to disagree. Let's just say something silly like it's got a cute picture of a dog, but you might also be onto something on that point. Go ahead, let me know what you guys think down below. And again, go ahead and tell me, what is your favorite long-term crypto? And for the most part, I'm putting Bitcoin out of that category. I think most of us can all agree that Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we can probably put Solana in there, is a good long-term investment. What other ones do you like? Regardless, thank you for being here. We'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.